Good evening, everyone. Let us stand, please, for the invocation.
Please bow your heads. Our gracious Father, thank you for allowing us to be here on this day. Thank you for our great traveling grace for us, Heavenly Father. Thank you for those that are here with a kind heart and an eased mind, Heavenly Father. I ask that as we sit on this panel, on this jury, Heavenly Father, that you allow us to make the decisions that are best for the parish, that is best for the community, that are best for the people in the community. These blessings I ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please follow me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President report, none. Legal counsel.
Yes, I have a brief report. I was asked last time to speak on the police jury's authority to sell the property to the sheriff's to the sheriff that's currently being leased for the sheriff's training facility. As the police jury, I believe, is aware, it has authority to sell such property. The applicable statute is Louisiana Revised Statutes 33, 47, and 11, which specifically authorizes police juries to sell or exchange or lease property with other government agencies. Ms. Burrell is not present. She is the one that raised the issue. She was concerned about various publication requirements and things and quoted a number of sentences or made reference to them, but those regulate the sale by municipalities and not by the police jury, I believe is what she was referring to. There are no special provisions mandating the way in which the police jury must go through this. It is thought to be best practices by the AG to notify the public of the intent to sell and also the police jury's approach of getting appraised value and trying to determine the fair market value has been specifically approved as an appropriate approach by the AG. So I can answer any questions if there are any.
Okay, any questions from legal? Thank you. And the call for the additions and deletion to the administrative agenda? There's none. I'm guessing public comments. Mr. Belton, are you available? Yes, sir. Please come forward and state your name.
Mr. President, members, excuse me, my name is Emery Belton. I'm an attorney from Baton Rouge. I just drove up this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to congratulate the new jurors on the panel. I see a few new faces from when I was here last time. I'm here today to give you an update on a project that we've been working on for a long time. I'm not here to ask you for anything other than just to kind of apprise you of what's happening, because it is a very big deal for DeSoto in particular and North Louisiana in general, and the state as well. Before I get into that, you know, I've been practicing law for about 35 years, and early in my career I was a company landman for Exxon, which I know y'all are familiar with landman in this part of the country. And after that, I served as general counsel for the State Mineral Board as an assistant attorney general for 10 years. I worked for Entergy for 10 years, and then for the last 14 years, I've had my own practice. So my practice, my experience has been mostly in the energy-related area, land rights, electricity, oil and gas, pipelines. I represent a number of landowner clients in negotiating oil and gas leases. I've done, when I was at the Mineral Board, we probably collected for the state $2 billion at least in royalty audits, which is something I'm a big advocate for landowners and local governments alike. Getting royalties paid is great, but you need to audit your payments every now and then because oftentimes, you know, the devil's in the details. So anyhow, that's just FYI. The reason I'm here today is to talk about another project which is a great importance to the state, and it's the construction of a power line, a high voltage power line from Texas across Louisiana over into Mississippi. It's, as I said, it's high voltage. What's unique about it is that it's a direct current line as opposed to alternating current. The reason that it's direct current is because that's what the law in Texas requires in order to move the power out of Texas. As some of you may know, the grid system in Texas is called ERCOT. It's the Electric Reliability Council of Texas. You may have heard that name on the news. ERCOT is the only grid system in America that is not regulated by the federal government. So the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has no jurisdictional authority over ERCOT. And that's great, I guess, if you're in Texas, but I think as we all saw, the ice storm and this heat wave this summer, it kind of came back to bite them because, but not being part of the regular nationwide grid, it's very hard for them to get power in and out of Texas. So consequently, when their own domestic generation went down, they were out of power and suffered brownouts. Now, as a comparison here in Louisiana, we had bad weather. Y'all had that part of that ice storm too. And except for your outages, your individual outages, the utilities were still able to deliver power here, and that's very important to have that interoperability of the transmission grid. Okay, so to move the power out of ERCOT, it has to be DC. So that is a tremendous windfall for DeSoto Parish. The reason is that the power comes out of ERCOT at AC. The company has bought a 40-acre tract over west of here, near the Texas border, but on the Louisiana side, where they're going to build a $1 billion converter station that is going to take the power of the AC power, convert it to DC, put it in the lines, ship it across Louisiana, deliver it into the grid system. It's called MISO, Mid-Continent Electric Grid. Anyway, Entergy and CLECO are members of MISO. AEP SWEPCO is a member of the Southwest Power Pool, which is same kind of company but a different area. All right, so they're going to deliver it into Mississippi, into MISO, at which point companies such as Entergy or CLECO or the co-ops or anybody will be able to purchase that power and either use it in Mississippi or transport it back over here to Louisiana or whatever they want to do with it. All those transactions, of course, will be subject to the jurisdiction and review of the Public Service Commission. So as ratepayers here, y'all can take comfort in that, knowing that, you know, whatever the utilities pay for that power, it has to be reasonable and prudent. That's what the PSC requires. Okay, so the project, I've been working on it for 10 years. There's been a few fits and starts, primarily because of the regulatory environment in Texas, but since the ice storm, they kind of got religion, so, you know, things are moving forward. Right now, the company currently has over 60 landmen in the field buying right-of-ways and survey permissions. There are approximately 900 tracks identified across the state. There's about half of them already have been leased. Some have been paid. The impact to the economy and the parishes and the state is staggering. In addition to the construction costs here in Louisiana, which exceeds $2 billion across the state, you're looking at 2,000 construction jobs and 400 permanent jobs. A good number of those jobs are going to be in this area. The last time I was, well, not the last time I was here, but back in 2017, I appeared before this jury to talk about the project. The Community and Technical College here is going to be, and we're working with the administration of Baton Rouge, they will be implementing a jobs training program to train the workers to work at this converter station, because that's not, something everybody knows how to do. So, so those jobs will be here, local, and, long-term and high-paying. The net of it is that the investment in DeSoto Parish is going to be just north of $1 billion. The converter station is $1 billion, and there's about 25 miles of transmission line that it's going to pass across the parish. In front of you, I had left some information, a packet that showed the general map of the project across the state, as well as the map as it crosses across the various police jury districts. And I know we've gone through reapportionment since then, so I think that's an old map, so it may not be exactly reflective of how the current lines are drawn, but I think it's close enough where you can see, I'm sure y'all know where it's going. So, the net effect to DeSoto, in addition to the expenditure, is over 40 years an increase of $200 million in your ad valorem tax receipts, which equates to over $5 million a year increase in your ad valorem taxes. That's not to mention the other economic benefits in terms of having crews here and work crews here, and them buying gasoline and diesel, and hiring local workers to do dirt work and clear the right-of-ways and all that sort of stuff. Like I said, the impact to DeSoto Parish is unbelievable, honestly. The impact of the other parishes is not as great, but it's still noteworthy. Even parishes, for instance, East Carroll, who I don't know if any of you have ever been over there to Lake Providence, but I have, and those folks struggle over there. East Carroll, I think, is second to some county in West Virginia, the poorest county in America. The increase to the ad valorem tax base to East Carroll will result in them getting an additional $600,000 a year in ad valorem taxes. East Carroll Parish has 4 full-time sheriff deputies to cover the whole parish. That's how poor they are. Anyway, the other parishes, and the information I provided to you kind of shows the breakdown of the expenditure in each parish, what the economic impacts are to each parish, and the benefits. In 2017, this jury passed a resolution in support of this project. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even have to ask for it. Y'all volunteered it. And so did the city of Mansfield, and so did the police jury in Red River. And I was proud of that, because people, I think, understand, the importance of this. Power lines are, some people don't like to look at them. When I was up here that first time in 2017, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was the head of the local farm bureau group. He was a chicken farmer. And I was asking him, because the landowners will work with the company to determine what kind of poles they want to put on their property. They can either put mono poles, which is a single poles, or they can put lattice work poles, or they can do whatever the landowner wants. So I was curious. So I asked this gentleman, I said, well, what do you think people will prefer? He said, well, me and a lot of other ones would prefer the lattice work poles. He said, because the wild turkeys roost in them, So, it's, things like that you don't think about. But I think that it's important to realize that, when a power line comes through, they put the facilities in place, but the landowner still has a right to run cattle, farm under it. Doesn't mess with your mineral rights or anything like that. It's a slight burden on your property, but you're compensated for it. So, most people are pretty happy about it, governments in particular. Like I said, I mean, the initial project time frame is 40 years. In all likelihood, it'll go beyond that. So, I mean, the parish is looking at a fairly sizable revenue stream for a long, long, long time. Oil and gas revenues go up and down based on royalty prices and drilling and whatever else is going on with the world, but this isn't going anywhere. So I think that y'all can take some comfort in knowing that. The two things that are necessary, well basically, the companies come in, and what's unique about the project is that there's no ratepayer impact. I mean, what's happening is the private company's coming in and building a transmission line that is not, they've submitted themselves to the jurisdiction of the Public Service Commission voluntarily, but it's not like the regular utility because it's not providing retail sales here in Louisiana. The customers aren't required to pay for it. But what the customers do get the benefit of is a free transmission line built in Louisiana that the utility customers don't have to pay for, but it's delivering power in Mississippi that more than likely will be sold here, that the customers will benefit from. This, and we all know, we're kind of in a transition period energy-wise. I mean, between solar and carbon capture and global warming, and I mean, it's all changing, and what's changing too is the willingness of private parties to come into the marketplace and build these types of facilities and make these types of investments. So with that, I'll kind of wrap things up. Our application is pending before the Public Service Commission for approval. We expect to receive that in either May or June. Unfortunately, a legislator from this area has filed a piece of legislation on behalf of literally a handful of constituents. As I mentioned, there were 900 on this line, 500 of which have signed, but you have about 4 or 5 of them who don't like the project. They filed legislation that is seeking to amend the expropriation law in Louisiana, which expropriation only applies to certain companies like this one. And if that legislation passes, this project's dead. This company has, to date, they've already spent over $75 million in Louisiana. This proposed legislation came out of nowhere. We had been fighting. They had intervened in the Public Service Commission proceedings, and we had a 2-day trial, and all indications are is that we're going to get the commission to approve it. But these folks have resorted to, I think, some methods that are to use the word self-serving doesn't even give it justification. You're talking about a handful of folks who are trying to prevent DeSoto Parish from collecting $200 million over the next 40 years. So I don't know if they're going to come to the table here to talk about it. I mean, they're here in the room today. So you may hear from them as well. But like I said, the project's moving forward. My client's doing everything they can to make it happen and to prevent others from stopping it from happening. So I'm happy to answer any questions or I'll go back to Baton Rouge.
Are there any questions?
I have a question, as far as the eminent domain laws, and y'all do plan to use that if necessary?
Unfortunately, the yin and the yang of eminent domain laws is this. Nobody likes to use them. When they are invoked, if they have to be invoked, one thing that's important to keep in mind is that it's the local district court judge who determines the fair market value of whatever it is that is being taken. In this particular instance, like I said, it's not going to be the property itself. It's going to be a burden to put the line on the property. But the reason that eminent domain is important, and I think the attorneys in the room will understand this, and some of you business folks might, without at least the right to have eminent domain, there's no ability for companies to cure title defects. So for instance, if you have missing heirs, or if you have folks who may have property out somewhere and grandma and grandpa owned it and died and they never opened a succession, so the property was never allocated to the current heirs, so you don't know who owns it, you can't get these people to sign. The investment community recognizes this, and they require that companies with projects like this that cross multiple jurisdictions have this right. This right only applies to power lines, pipelines, railroads, and telecommunications. Only companies that, have these linear projects. The reason being that to allow 2 or 3 people, to stop a $2 billion project is not only not right, but it's, we believe is frankly illegal. The legislation, if passed, we think is a flagrant violation of the Commerce Clause of the United States Constitution. We're all grown-ups here. I mean, you can't, if it'd be just the same as, this is an interstate line. They're moving power, across the southeast part of the United States. It'd be just like if y'all wanted to, block an interstate highway from coming through. You can't do that. The problem that Pattern has, though, quite honestly, is that, they've spent the $75 million. They prepared to spend the rest. And if this legislation is successful in passing, while they would have every right, I think, and likelihood of prevailing with this litigation to get this law thrown out, who wants to do business in a state whose legislature is going to go to the lengths of passing a law that tells you we don't want you here? So, that's kind of what's at stake there. Like I said, I know y'all had a lot of Haynesville activity up here. Y'all had a lot of pipelines laid. I have some clients in Sabine. I've negotiated some of these right-of-way deals with these pipeline companies. Pipelines have the same exact right. They exercise it exactly the same way for the same reasons, and they need it for the same reasons. Have there been a lot of pipeline expropriation lawsuits? I don't know. But I do know that Pattern is not, doesn't want to have to do that. But if they take away the ability in the law, then nobody will loan them any money to build a project.
Okay, so the answer is yes, all right.
Yes.
All right, you said that you came here in 2017 to get support from the jury, and you didn't even have to ask for support. They just
They
volunteered.
asked how
What
they
support are you looking for from the jury?
today.
Yes, what support were you asking for?
I'm not asking for anything today.
Okay,
What happened was when I came here in 2017, when I explained to them all the benefits of this project, and I can't remember who the chairman was or who made the motion at that time, but they said, what can we do to help? We want this kind of activity in our parish. I'm like, well, y'all can pass a resolution of support, and that's what they did. Red River did the same thing. City of Mansfield did the same thing. Same kind of thing. There was a lot of excitement back then, as I think there should be today, but
is, you were talking about tracts of land that have owners that are missing ownership and things like that. Is that the main holdup you've got as far as acquiring your property? Is that what you're saying? Is that you're trying to go across property that you can't get good titles to because you can't get in touch with the heirs?
I'm saying that's one of the issues that the expropriation law addresses. I'm
Okay.
saying that even if we had everybody signed up willingly, okay, we had all the title, no problems at all. If the Louisiana statutes does not give power line companies that authority, financiers won't give them the money. It has nothing to do with whether or not they're actually getting the leases or not. It has to do with these lenders need to know that the law provides a vehicle or a mechanism to cure any title problems that may arise. That answer your question?
What type of restrictions would the landowners have once this High Line came through their property?
You can't build houses or swimming pools underneath them. That's about it. The National Electric Safety Code determines the width of the right-of-way based on the voltage of the line. In this particular case, it's 180 feet wide. There's no negotiating with that. That's federal law. That's what it has to be.
No restrictions on cattle or recreational?
No restrictions on cattle, no recreational. I mean, you can't put a drilling rig out there, but you can directionally drill. Pipelines can cross under it, if they want to, under certain, they have to take certain safety precautions, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it's just like like everywhere in Louisiana, everywhere around the country. I mean, they got power lines running all over this place. I mean, they got cattle on it. My wife, his family owns a bunch of sugarcane property down in West Baton Rouge. I mean, they farm sugarcane under it. People hunt under it. You can do whatever you want to. I mean, it's a burden. The line is a burden on the property, but, that's it. Anyway.
Any more questions?
I got one. You talked about the eminent domain. What level of government would it be to invoke the eminent domain? Would it be the state level?
Yes.
State.
Well, I mean, it actually, there's two. The project has already received federal approval. The federal government, FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, has already ruled that the project is in the public interest, that it satisfies a public purpose. Theoretically, I believe, and I don't think they, want to go this route, but I mean, I think that they could invoke an eminent domain under federal law more than likely, because it's a federal line. However, it gets back, I think, again to, they want to be here, and they want Louisiana to want them here, and if the state is going to go to all these lengths to say, we don't want you here, then they'll take their $200 billion or $2 billion in capital and they'll go somewhere else, and I hate to say that, because look, we're a small state, I mean, one job I had that I didn't mention was when I started my private practice, I was general counsel for the Police Jury Association when Roland Artez was the executive director. I don't know if some of you remember Roland. But, I have an appreciation for what you folks do. I mean, it's a time-consuming and at times thankless job, right? I mean, you obviously don't do it for the pay, So I appreciate, the rigors that y'all have to go through. But we're a state of 4.5 million people. The metropolitan Houston area has over 9 million people. We don't have, the problem, as I see it, we all struggling with money for roads and money for hospitals and money for schools. We're just so sparsely populated, there's just not enough people to spread all those costs over, But when you have projects like this, who come in and are gonna dump and, provide a parish with $5 million a year, I mean, that's pretty significant, I love Louisiana. I was born and raised here. I'll stay here. But this is just, again, I'm not here asking for anything. I'm just, giving y'all an update on kind of what's going on and kind of what's at stake in Baton Rouge right now.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Let's have some more questions. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Mr. Paul, are you available, Dixie? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Dennison go first?
Yes.
Y'all
Doesn't
together?
matter.
Yeah, go ahead. Mr. Dennison can't walk up there.
Okay.
All right. I'm a DeSoto Parish resident. I live Yeah, we can't hear you.
I'm just trying to talk a little louder. I'm 71 years old, and I've lived here my whole life. I've spent a lot of money, investments on my property for my grandchildren down the road. I probably hit the hardest of anybody, probably in the state of Louisiana, because they're wanting to run it right across my front yard. And they're gonna put it right where my driveway is. So when I pull into my property, I'm gonna see that when I pull in every time. My property values are gonna drop. I've taken that property years ago and I buried all of the high lines, all of the high voltage lines, and I removed all of the poles off of my property. I don't have any above ground. And I did that because I did it for a safety reason. So it makes no sense for me to allow them to come through with a monster like this right through my front yard. So I'm asking y'all to please consider this. I mean, if they wanna come through, I have no problem with them going through somebody else's property that hadn't invested the time and energy that I have with my property. I have no problem with that at all. But they don't need to be able to take our property from us when we don't wanna sell it. And that's a company that's not even, it's from Canada. They've hired a bunch of people out of California to come in here. I was talking to them today, and the surveyors they're using to roll in here and try to survey everybody's property, they're not from around here. They're from Oklahoma. They're flying them in tonight. They're not using any local anything. So I've not heard anything truthful coming out of their mouths. I've been dealing with them a year. I'm really fed up with dealing with them. I've given them all kind of routes to go around my property. They haven't considered any of them to this day. I do feel like I'm being threatened because if I don't cooperate with them, they're gonna take it from me. That's exactly how I feel right now. Some of you know me. I went to school with a lot of y'all. I know what type of person I am. I'm gonna tell it like it is. This is wrong. They shouldn't be able to do that. They should be able to come in and deal with each one of us individually and figure if somebody wants it, they may take a little more money to get them to sign on the dotted line. I don't care. It's not my property. They can do whatever they want with it. But they shouldn't be able to force me to have this rammed down my throat.
Okay. Mr. Dixon.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul Dixon. My wife's family, my wife Beverly Rigby Dixon, has property in DeSoto Parish, south of Keachai. That the Southern Spirit transmission line is, I would say, asking to go through, have told our family that they're going through. I own land in Red River Parish adjacent to a significant stretch of the transmission line. And I don't know if how many of y'all are aware of the Red River National Wildlife Refuge. It's in Red River, Bossier, Caddo parishes. And I'm the founder of that. I brought that about through an act of Congress in 2000, and it provides public land for people to use and hunt and fish on. I've been involved all my life in conservation. I've added land to a number of wildlife management areas, and by working with state governments and working with private sector, how to bring them together, give people a place to hunt and fish. I grew up hunting fish on public land, on Toledo, and Kisatchie National Forest and wildlife management areas. And I'm fortunate to own land, be a landowner, so I'm here as a landowner. But all my life, I've worked for conservation and for the people's ability to use a piece of land. Well, the Southern Spirit transmission line does go between two of the units of the Red River National Wildlife Refuge, which concerns me from a conservation side. I've been aware of this since it first emerged, as said, back in the 2015 or so, and it became supposedly a hot project in 2017 before they dropped it for a little while. And I put up resistance to it then for these reasons. So it's back. And what's remarkable is how little anybody knows about it, even now. So we're passing out almost a 10-year history, yet there's so little information. So now I'm addressing you also for Louisiana Land Guardians, Inc., That is an organization that was formed last week. We are very new. If I wasn't, I would be able to give you stuff on letterhead, but I promise we will real soon. This was an effort by landowners to try to find each other. This is so secret that, like Denny Dennison, we only know each other because we joined each other. We have no idea who the other landowners are because of these vague maps. And only in the last couple of months, just very recently, did they put something on their website that's specific enough that we can get a landman to start working on it and figure out whose land this thing goes through. And because previous to this, it was all very vague and very secretive. They don't publish a list of landowners. So the reason you haven't heard much from landowners in DeSoto Parish is nobody really knew whose land it was going through and what was going on. Everybody was kind of left isolated by it, but that's changing. And as Louisiana Land Guardians, one of our missions is to shine some light on this, to shine some daylight on this, and we're going to shine some daylight on it. And we will certainly share any information that we get. I have to say, Mr. Belton, I agree with one thing: the devil's in the details. I mean, that's for sure. One piece of information we've been able to get, and you can get it too, because it's in your courthouse. There have been 4 servitudes that are attached to titles now in DeSoto Parish. That's all, just 4. There are 4 that we were able to come by. We got copies of those, and if could share one with you afterwards, if anybody wants one. I'm going to give you some of the details we found in these servitudes. A oil and gas drilling platform cannot be placed within 500 feet of the 180-foot right-of-way. And pardon me about it, swimming pools and houses, but there's a whole lot more to it than that. So that's 500 plus 180 plus 5, that's 1,180 feet now closed to Haynesville wells. Can't drill one. So that means that the operator is going to look at your track as to whether they're going to produce it or not, and they're going to see they're going to have to drill as much as an extra 680 feet because they're going to have to move this 500 and 180 out, and they'll just choose to go drill somewhere else. The more you look at the details, for instance, it's not just that they have access to the right-of-way, but the servitude owners that signed these in DeSoto Parish signed away access, including removing anything. It actually says that. They can remove anything that gets in their way coming in. That means you give them access to your road, and they can do anything they want. These details are there. They're in the servitudes for you to read. I'm not here to try to stop the power line. We're not trying to stop the power line. All we're saying is landowners should have the right to truly negotiate. They should be able to negotiate the details in these servitudes. They should be able to negotiate the prices. And if they don't want it, if this company, all this money this man's talking about billions and billions of dollars, if they've got all that money, they ought to be able to find a way through from willing sellers. So if not this tract, then the next tract. They ought to be able to find somebody who would be willing to let them go through. These binary statements are given without any justification, without any support, that if there's no expropriation, there'll be no project. Where did that come from? No one knows that's true. It's just like all the jobs are offered and all this money. Do you have any contracts or any assurances that any of those jobs are really going to happen? I mean, how many companies have come here and haven't come back looking for tax exemptions or tax credits? There's no guarantee of any of this. So all we're asking for is to hit the pause button until we can get more information. Now, we have sponsored a bill, Senate Bill 108, which, by the way, passed the state Senate 36-1 a week ago. All Senate Bill 108 does is prohibits this company from using expropriation and any other private, non-public company from using expropriation. That's all. If they have a power line that doesn't serve Louisiana, it's very narrow. If they have a transmission line across Louisiana and it doesn't serve Louisiana and they're a private company, they can't use expropriation. That's all the bill says. Doesn't say that the power line's not coming here, doesn't say any of that. It just says that the landowners have the right to negotiate with their hands untied. But what's happening right now, it's like Mr. Dennison displayed to you, is people feel like they have no choice. They feel like that this is like a public utility, but it's not. This is a private company taking power from Texas over to eastern states. It's a company owned by some investors in San Francisco using a Canadian sovereign wealth fund for funding, a pension fund, and using Chinese steel. And they're bringing surveyors in from Oklahoma. This is not a public project for Louisiana. To compare it to an oil and gas pipeline bringing DeSoto Parish gas to market for the benefit of DeSoto Parish is just frankly dishonest. There's no comparison whatsoever. It's nothing like a pipeline. What it is, we're afraid, and we'll dig up more of this, is an economic development barrier. It's like a great big wall across the state that you can't move projects of value across. To say that they'll allow anything to happen, go read the servitude for yourself. Don't listen to me. Go to the courthouse and get the servitude and read it for yourself and see if you think it only bars swimming pools and houses. I think you'll see differently if you read it. So anyway, all we're asking for right now is for you to not oppose Senate Bill 108. I'm not even asking you to support it. Just until this body has enough information to take an institutional position, I would ask you not to. Now, you are currently taking a position because your lobbyist has lobbied against Senate Bill 108. Did so in the Senate, obviously not very successfully, but did. We would ask that you be neutral until you can gather enough information, and we will, Louisiana Land Guardians will provide you certainly information from our side. I know Pattern Energy has and will continue to provide energy from their side. And then you guys, as a good public service and government body you are, will take a position, but I'd ask you for now not to oppose Senate Bill 108 until you've got enough information to do it with. And I really spent most of my time talking, not so much to convince you, but to show you that there is another side to this. There's sure enough another side to this you haven't heard. And we look forward to the opportunity to bring you more hard information as we're able to dig it up. And just as a point of information, we are going to build a list of all the affected landowners. And we'd be happy to share that as we're able to build it. And it doesn't just affect the people it crosses, it affects the people on both sides. And we're gonna shine, like I said, we're gonna shine some sunlight on all this, so.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Paul.
for your time. Anything else? Anybody, any questions, anybody else?
Yes, sir. I would like to know, the group of people that's opposing this, do y'all have oil companies, oil wells on your property, or, cause y'all mentioning oil companies?
Yes, there are oil and gas, certainly there's oil and gas production on most of the lands in DeSoto Parish now, one way or another. That's not one of our issues, except that it does become more expensive and more difficult to run gas lines across the power line, because it causes so I'm told, I'm not an expert on this, it causes the electrical magnetic field causes the pipes to corrode, and they have to spend more money to fix the pipes, called cathodic protection, to keep them from eroding, from corroding. But I'm not, really, you should ask that question specifically, to oil and gas companies, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I don't think it's right for a landowner to be forced to take this without being able to negotiate. And that might include some oil and gas issues, but for some people, not for
I
others.
understand, cause I'm really had enough oil and gas companies. I look out my front door and all I can see is pipes, oil pipes for the oil,
Well,
and trucks constantly.
This thing is between 80 feet at its lowest and 180 feet tall at its highest, so an 18-story building. And it's 180 feet wide. When it crosses the rivers, it goes as high as 450 feet tall, so you'll definitely see it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Paul.
All right, thank you.
So any more guests and public comments? Yes, sir.
Good evening, members of the jury. Chance McNeely, your lobbyist. I didn't come here today to speak, actually. I came here to listen. I happened to be in town And I haven't met you, Mr. Dixon, but just to correct the record, I've not lobbied this bill one way or the other. Part of the reason I came here today was to hear the conversation and see if there was a directive that would come from the jury up until this point. What I have done is send one text message to Senator Seaball, making him aware of what we perceived the financial impacts to be. And other than that, I mentioned it to Senator Presley and then didn't step foot back in the chamber on this topic. So I just wanted to clarify that we've not been lobbying this bill. If I did lobby the bill, I'd have gotten more than one no vote, I can assure you. So I just want to put that out there. If y'all would like to take a position, that's your prerogative to do. You've not done so at this point. So in the absence of a decision from the jury telling me to oppose or support a piece of legislation, that's how y'all tell me what to do. And so I just want to correct the record on that front. I'm happy to carry out your wishes, as always, whatever those may be. So unless there are any questions, thank you. And I'm glad I came today. It's my first time coming on an early first of the Monday meetings.
Thanks. Are there any more guests and public comments? Well, being none, we will proceed.
All right, administrative items. Number 2, authorize all staff to close all operations during the holidays for the jury.
So move.
Second.
Question, what does this mean?
That's my second for discussion.
Basically, it means that all operations on all holidays would close. Right now, we keep some operations going. We have some staff that works, other staff does not work, and this way, all staff would be off for all of the holidays.
And probably pertaining to most of the solid waste.
Most of it's solid waste, I'm sure.
We're gonna have to pull those contracts, I think. I think we have agreements designating certain days of closure and open for the landfill that have been entered into. So I can pull them and look and see what we've contractually agreed to on the operation of the landfill days.
Okay.
Mr. Fuller.
Yes, Mr.
That
Fuller.
was my question. I mean, is there a concern, people complaining about having to work, or has the issue with this brought up?
No, it's a cost savings is one thing. We pay our staff double time and a half to be there on holidays. And some staff is off. Other staff members would like to be off possibly, and they're not allowed to be off because they have to be work. So this way, it would be across the board, all staff, all personnel, all employees would be off for the holiday, unless, of course, there's an emergency.
Could we consider keeping compactor sites open at the 3 most productive compactor sites, at least? That'd be,
I guess we could consider anything, but, I mean, we vote in all of these holidays for these employees to be off. You know, we ought to allow them to be off for the holidays. That's the way I feel.
And I think on the solid waste deal that Mr. Josh could work around the garbage. Either a day before or a day after or something like that.
I just feel like it's important to keep some of them open because people are off work and that's when they need to tend to their garbage. And
I think when the public finds out what the holidays are, they'll get used to that, and they'll make arrangements to be there the day before or the day after the holiday, just like anybody else would for any other closure. Banks close on holidays, you know your bank, the branch is closed, you know you can't go that day. It's just simple as that.
We need to move on to the motion.
I don't see where anybody has so much garbage they can't hold it till the next day. I've got a lot of garbage. I hold it sometimes a week before I carry it. Go one time,
It's you and your wife, ain't it?
you know, that's right. There is some.
Yes, Mr. Baker.
We are under contracts on some of the trash we receive at the landfill on which days we can be closed.
Well, I guess we'd have to
Have to look at
Consider
that.
that.
abide by the contract until we could renegotiate new contracts then, you know? So. I mean, I understand we can't break a contract that we're already into, but, you know, we can, close on the other holidays.
I think we need to make an alternate motion
Alternate
then.
motion.
Put in Pacific of what we're gonna do.
I think we need to let legal, because she did state that she needed to look at some dates, and as Mr. Baker stated, that there are times that we are contracted to be open, so before we make a vote tonight, I think we do need to make an alternate motion to delay it until we can see what those dates are and work around that, and then make a decision. I don't think we need to make one right now, because there are some things up in the air that we need to make sure that is dotted and crossed before we.
You gonna make that as a motion, Ms. Simpson?
Yes, sir. I make a motion, an alternate motion that we defer this until we can get, information on it per legal as it relates to the contractual days that, we are liable for being open, because some of those days may be one of those holidays.
If I remember correctly, there's at least one, or maybe perhaps several contracts, and what I would say is that they allow the landfill to be closed on certain, what we, as a general people, probably feel like are the quote, major holidays. And then some of these other days, you know, because there is active trash pickup, for residential areas that come to the landfill has contracted to stay open on those days. But I'll pull the contracts and have specific information for you next meeting.
But I would like to second that for it, Phil.
Okay, second by Mr. Fuller. Have a motion by Ms. Simpson and a second by Mr. Fuller to alternate motion to defer for more info available as soon as possible.
I can have it next meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All in favor? No more discussion, we want to vote? You get that, Jody? Motion passed. All right, item number 3, appoint James Robinson to the Bayou Pier Fish and Game Commission.
So move.
Have a motion by Mr. Ross,
A second.
Is he
Aye.
here?
Mr. James, you.
second by Mr. Latham.
So he is, he's not here tonight. His father had a stroke over the weekend, and he's just released from the hospital
Yeah.
today. But he said he would be at the regular meeting if pushed through.
Thank you.
All right, any discussion on Mr. Robinson?
Yes, how did he come about? Does he work with this before, or know something about
You
this?
know any background
Yeah, so
on
I
it?
put him on, yeah. So he is a resident of DeSoto Parish, but he's had hunting land in Carmel for the last 40 years. He had questions on this board, this Bayou Pier Fishing Game Commission. They meet once or twice a year on Clear Lake on when to draw the dam, when to drop it. And there was an empty seat, so he's very familiar with that area. So I asked him if he wanted to be on the board, and he was very encouraged to be on it. There was a vacant seat, so I recommended him.
Yeah, he has property on the.
Oh, okay,
Right,
because
right.
but he resides in Cattle Parish, right?
Yeah, he lives in DeSoto Parish, but he has hunting property, recreational property in Carmel that
48.
for over 40 years that he's.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote.
One more remaining.
That's me, I'm thinking about it. Cause I just feel like they all live in the DeSoto Parish. We doing a lot.
Motion passes.
All right, item number 4, authorize selling the property located at the Sheriff's Training Facility, 120 Sprocket Lane, to the sheriff at market value, and all proceeds to be dedicated to the jail fund. There a motion?
So moved.
A motion by Mr. Parker,
Second.
second by Mr. Clark. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. I have some discussion.
All right,
I know y'all pretty much gonna make the decision tonight. But, I want you all to take a look at this. I know we going through the committee and it's got to be voted on again next week. But like I said, I want it to be done decent and in order and correctly. So, Mr. Norton kept talking about what we used to do or what we had done. So I decided I better do me some research on what we have done. And the last time we sold property, we had to go through these changes. I mean, we followed these rules, which is correct according to what I researched. Like I say, I like for it to be done right, because my vote, when I give my vote, I want to make absolutely sure it's right. These are what we did the last time, as you said, what we've been doing and was doing. These are where we sold property back in 2010. These are the steps, and I want y'all to take it home. Don't take it home and throw it up on your counter. I want you to actually look at it and read it. And it's gonna clearly show you what we've been doing. Then I got another concern about property value. When we sold this property here in 2010, we sold it for $20,000 an acre. That's a big difference in what we talking about now. So if it was $20,000 an acre in 2010, y'all, you can do the math. Something not right. And I'm just not willing just to give the taxpayers' property away. I'm really not. I don't care who it is. It's rules and regulations that we should have followed concerning this property. I don't like the way in which it was done. When we found out about it, they had it appraised, everything, papers written up, the whole nine. I keep telling y'all, we get left out the loop. Well, some of us do. Because some of us already know when you come in here what you're going to vote and what's the went on. We just don't know it until we get in these meetings. That needs to stop. It really do. That really needs to stop. First of all, we should have made a decision if all of us were willing to sell some property. Not just cram down our throats in a meeting saying, okay, we're going to sell some property, because that's not the proper manner. I asked the attorney to give us a report.
I did. You weren't here yet. I
Okay,
gave it
well.
during the legal report time.
Well, either way or the other, before you make this decision, I want y'all to look, as Mr. Norton said, what we did the last time, because according to what we did the last time, what the law is, it's the correct way. That didn't happen this time. I have to tell you, I'm like Mr. Holmes on that now. It's a dead cat on the line when it came to this property this time. And I know they went and had it appraised, all this, that, and the other. But I'm questioning that. Because like I say, I got a question. $20,000 an acre in 2010. And we talking about $50,000 for all this property. I can't see it. I don't care how I look at it. Some ain't right about that. So I want all y'all to make conscious decisions. Make a decision for your people in your district. Not for you, not for the sheriff, not for nobody, but the people that hired us, that voted for us to represent them. That's what we here for, is those people. And I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna put them first every time. The people mean a lot to me, and I will not betray them. I'm gonna stand flat-footed and firm on it.
Anybody else have any discussion?
Can I just clarify? Just so I understand correctly. The sheriff leased that land from the police jury, correct?
Correct.
He has a 99-year lease, what I understand.
That's my understanding.
So if we don't sell him the property, he's still gonna occupy the property no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So he's offering us $50,000 to purchase the property that he can have domain of for up to 99 years.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion?
I can't see
All right,
why he would want to buy some property he got a lease on for 99 years. Make it make sense. That's what I'm saying. Make that make sense. That don't even make sense.
all right. Any more discussion? No more discussion? Let's vote.
Don't mind, let me clear, I don't know, but one of the things I see that probably the reason why he wants to buy it, because it should have been done before they start building buildings on that. They probably should have bought it before then. But if anything should happen, and for any reason that they have to give up the property, the buildings come with it. Even though they've built them, it's my understanding that the buildings come with it. So that's probably why he's asking to buy it. Just my opinion.
I think this is a lesson for the jury and anytime in the future, not to make a lease for $1 for 99 years on any kind of police jury property.
Agree with that.
Well, from what I understood, he likes to do, every now and then, he's wanted to do some upgrades or
Right.
do something to the property, and he's not free to do that without coming before the jury to get permission to do anything to it. Unlike you, he's already built the buildings on it. It's
Right.
basically his property. It's his property from now on, it looks like, so.
Well, if it could convert back, I don't know, would it still be his, but the building will certainly come with the property.
I'm sure, yes.
Yeah.
No more discussion?
What if just say, I want to change my mind. I'm gonna purchase this property. Next year this time, I decide I'm finna sell it for 10 times for the value that's on that property now. You understand what I'm saying? That could happen. We done got rid of property like that and turned around and they sold it and we gave that away of the taxpayers' property. And they made big bucks out of it. I'm looking at it as protecting the citizens of this parish. I don't feel like we need to be selling their property. Honestly, that's my thing. And then it's supposed to be property that no longer needed for public use. But every piece of property up there needed for public use. I can think of a whole bunch of things we could do with that property up there for the public.
Well, I would think the property at the airport and around the airport that we own is there for development. That's what I thought it would be for. It's not any good to anybody just to keep it and it's sitting there like it is.
Oh, I've been trying
There's
to
nothing
develop.
going on up there.
I've been trying to develop Mr. Holmes since I've been a police chief.
We've already leased the property to the sheriff. He's made improvements to the property. So I feel like, we should sell it to him because we have leased it to him. Let him make improvements on it. and allowed him to use it. So I feel like, we need to make that sale. Any property that's up there, I understood was for sale. You know, it's for development. So, you know,
Okay, we gonna do that for the rest of the people, like the DeSoto alumni. We got property, they done leased for 99 years too. So,
I'd love for him to
open
buy
the
it.
door.
Yes, school board. This school board.
Walker has.
Mr. Parker, go ahead.
One of the reasons that I made the motion to sell this property is the liability involved in it. And all the property we have, we've got 100 acres dedicated to an industrial park, and we've got 2 businesses out there on it. It's been there for sale for quite a few years.
Right.
Okay.
That piece of property there has been for sale until
while.
the sheriff came into it, and I don't know for sure how long he's been there. But he took his money, developed it into a shooting range. There's been several organizations, I think, have used that in the past and stuff to put on events dealing with shooting activities. It's a chance for us to make some money, and we get out from under the liability. If somebody gets shot out there, gets hurt out there, anything, we will be responsible for it, just like the sheriff's department will be responsible for it. So if we can make money off of it and get out from under that liability, I'm for doing it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Parker. I mean, it's a training facility. Gotta look at it, there's a lot goes into the training facility. If an outbreak in the parish happened, he got his guys' employees on point. You make that call, they there, because they didn't have the necessary training at that place.
Anybody else? If not, vote.
So are y'all, quick question, because I haven't voted yet. Are y'all
Yes.
voting for the 20,000, or are you voting for the 10,000? I mean, who did the survey? I mean, if, like Ms. Pereira said, when we sold this property, we sold the property for $20,000 up there.
It's,
Oh, it's
$50,000.
$50,000.
I know, I'm talking about an acre. That's what I'm talking about now. How many acres is it?
It's 10 acres, isn't it?
It's 5.
5
Okay, so
acres.
$10,000, an acre. When we sold the acreage up there at the airport, we sold it for 20,000. So I'm like, Mr. Miller, how did the market value went down? How did it go down? And it should have went up. Especially Haynesville share being here.
Right, I mean,
Thoughts on that?
I'm not an appraiser, I don't know. Actually, we can
I mean, that would be a
donate
question
it,
you ought to ask, though. I mean,
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be something you ought to be asking yourself.
but we can donate it to them if we want to. I mean, it's what we wants to do.
Now it's what you need to do for the people.
It's 10 acres.
I didn't say donate, I said we could.
On the question is at market value. What is the market value?
That's the appraised value.
Appraised value.
We had it appraised
Back in,
just
It
recently.
was
What?
February.
2 months ago?
February 13th, 2024 is the appraised day.
But it was appraised, everything was appraised and everything before it even came to this year. So that's the problem I have with
I
it.
don't have,
Well, it have to be appraised before we can have a number to go by.
I guess the point I'm making, it was appraised when we sold it for 20,000 acre.
Mm-hmm.
It was appraised then. So how is it,
What,
not even
Isn't
a
that
mile
the
away?
individual
what
owner?
appraised firm did we use?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. It was appraised when we purchased the property. I mean, we sold the property to this company out of Arkansas for $20,000 an acre.
Enterprise, it's right
So-
here.
So my question is, how is it 10,000 now? That's what I'm just trying to get clarity on that.
Yeah, I understand your question, but
How many
again,
acres
I'm not
was
an appraised
sold?
guy, I don't.
Okay, well, I know how to vote. That's fine, that's fine.
How many
Well, you
acres
might
was
need
sold
to
back?
get another appraisal.
we need another appraisal.
Can I say one more thing?
How many acres was sold?
Is that okay if I say something?
Yes, it is.
Okay. The sheriff has the property. He's given us a gift. He can't, if we decide not to sell it to him, he's still gonna be there. for 99 years. We're gonna be dead in the dirt, and the next sheriff's still gonna be there.
Yeah, I let them worry about that then.
Yeah, he's saying, hey, look, let me help y'all out. I'll give you $50,000 for this property that I have anyway.
To turn around and put it in the jail fund for the new jail, so don't be trying to deceive the people and make it look like he doing such a favor. Cause it don't take a rocket science to figure that out. And I see I would've left that long, but since y'all gonna try to come back here, I'ma tell the people what's what. That's what that is. Now come on, let's be real about it.
37 for 10,000.
That's $50,000 less that's gotta come out the jury money to pay for the jail.
Well, it's not in concrete and stone yet that we building a new jail. It's going in the jail fund, whether we refurbish the old one or what, the funds will be there.
Yeah, okay.
But I'd rather see 100,000 going on than 50,000. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Everybody would, but
Pardon me?
everybody would. I would love to see 100,000.
Well, like I said, I'm just trying to get clarity on how it was over 20,000 then, and it went down. It's 10,000 now. That's all I'm trying to understand. And so when somebody
unless
make
the
that clear to
value
me
of
and help me
land
understand that, I vote yes for it.
Unless the
Let me
value
see.
of
You don't
land, then,
I guess I vote no for it, then that's fine.
I can give you a
Let's
little
don't-
clarity on that other one.
Sir?
please,
I can give you a little clarity on the other deal.
on this one.
Enterprise, gas company.
Oh,
Gas company's gonna pay more for property if they want it.
Why?
They'll pay, you tell me why. They want it, they pay it, they got plenty of money, they
But
got,
see, that ain't right, that ain't fair.
But that was the appraised
Everybody need
value.
But on the motion, there is not a value on the motion. It says a market value.
You can see in the appraisal that was given to you last month.
Right, let's say
It
this,
has all the comparisons as well as all the assumptions that was made by the appraiser.
Right.
Details it, item by item, exactly how you
I
came
saw that.
so what was the market value? It was 10,000, you say?
5,000 an acre,
5,000.
That was the market value?
market value.
Can we call the question?
Oh, no.
I just did it, okay, see? I
thought it was
just, I
10.
said,
I don't see that.
All right,
okay.
everybody, let's
Say,
vote.
don't take no rocket science to figure it out.
You just
I think
said
they
I'd
come
back
back.
and vote again, right? So, we'll be right
Well, I
back
can
again.
tell y'all need to pray about that.
If it comes up higher, you can just say, well,
Yes, it just depends.
One remaining?
I know.
Oh, okay.
Pray about
Settlement, I
that.
don't want a value on that, man. Market value, we're just saying 20,000. We're just saying 20,000 per acre, or 20,000 for the property.
50,000.
50,000.
10,000 an acre.
10,000 acres.
Basically,
Cause it ain't, the oil company don't make no difference.
That's market value.
I just want the people to know how y'all do business so they can hold you accountable.
All right, motion passed. Item number 5, authorize the president to sign a resolution approving payment in lieu of tax agreements in accordance with a term sheet requesting the Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority enter into said payment in lieu of tax agreement and providing for other matters with respect thereto. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
Have a motion by Mr. Fuller,
Second.
second by Mr. Jones. Any discussion?
What does this pertain to?
This is the Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority, is the finance entity for the Desiree. This is the solar panel place out here at the Clico plant. They're requesting that we give them a 50% tax abatement for their facility out there. Any discussion on that?
Yes, I just want to say on that, that's investing into clean energy. And we need to be keeping up with the times. A lot of places are moving to solar energy. All these problems we having with the weather and stuff, we need to start taking it serious. And I don't wanna get left behind on this, like, that's just like, broadband. We drug our feet on that. We need to stop dragging our feet on stuff and keep up with the time, start investing. That's what we need to be doing with taxpayers' money, investing in the stuff that's gonna be positive and have a positive impact for them.
Well, I did a little research on this pilot program called the Property Tax Incentive Financing Pilot, Payment in lieu of taxes. And if you read up on there, this is from the Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority's website. If you read up on it, it says recognizing a barrier that the state has to local governments are not able to provide tax abatements directly to private companies. They've created this pilot program. And the pilot program is, if you'll read up on it, it states here that the pilot program is for job creation. And it's also for economic growth. But it wrenches in here time and time again that it's for job creation. This program is not creating any jobs whatsoever. They're wanting to build this program out here, this project out here, and ask for 50% abatement on their taxes, and they're not bringing any jobs into our area. And so I'm against giving it to them because of that fact. It says the level of tax abatement is negotiated between the private company and the Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority. The Finance Authority did this negotiating for us. We didn't negotiate it at all. We didn't have any say in it. Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority is not required to provide any abatement and typically reviews each request on a case-by-case basis. The abatement percentage and the term of the abatement vary based on the needs of the project and the economic deliverables to the community. The economic deliverables to the community, it says here, include but are not limited to, number one, like I just said, job creation, wages, total capital expenditure, economic diversification, and our fulfillment of other community needs. That fulfillment of other community needs is what they're trying to buy our votes with, that $800,000 that they're gonna offer us. They're offering us an $800,000 upfront money, but don't be confused and think you're receiving that $800,000. We're only receiving a portion of it, probably the smallest portion. The biggest portion's going to our school board, and then the sheriff's gonna get a big portion of it. So we'll get a portion of $800,000. But time and time again in this thing, it mentions job creation. I talked with Mr. Calvin Austin, who is the chairman of the Louisiana Finance Authority, and when I got through discussing this with him, I told him we were gonna vote on it last month. He said, well, I look forward to y'all getting this project and all the local jobs that are coming with it. I said, no, sir. He said, what do you mean? And I said, no jobs. There aren't any permanent jobs coming with this project. He said, really? He said, I don't even see how they qualify. They don't qualify for a pilot program. So, I mean, they're asking for something they don't even qualify for. So I'm against giving them an abatement of 50% of their taxes. If the school board wants to give them 50% off and the sheriff wants to give them 50% off, so be it. But I think they need to pay full taxes. They're not bringing anything into our community. Even the electricity's not staying in our community. They told us that from the first meeting. The first meeting, this electricity will be going south.
Well, Jones, is this the company that's moving into the old Hendricks manufacturing building?
No.
No, that's the next.
Solar panel.
It's the solar panel.
Oh, okay.
And trust me,
This is solar panel.
it's gonna be
Oh, they bring that back up.
beneficial.
Mr. Holmes.
Any more?
I thought,
Yes, Mr.
like, so
Fuller.
when we discussed this before, the police jury decided where the money, how much of the money went to who.
No,
That's what we discussed in the meeting. That's what we said here.
no.
Well, that's what we said.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
exactly what we said. We decided who got what amount of money. The police jury decided it wasn't the school board and it wasn't the sheriff.
It's not any of us. It's Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority has done all of the negotiating. We were not in any of the negotiating.
But I'm just saying, that's what we discussed here around this table, so.
Well, I think, Mr. Fuller, if I remember right, I think what you're referring to might be the $800,000, that there was some suggestion that it was gonna be the police jury's decision as to how to divvy up the $800,000, and then this matter was tabled, and then Mike was to reach out to them to get a breakdown of the money, and how that $800,000 would be divided, but the term proposal that was submitted back to the jury for consideration does not have a designation of the division of that money, as I recall. But I think that's what you might be
Yeah, 'cause
referring.
I brought that question up in the meeting, that's why I was.
Right. I think you're talking about the $800,000, and Mr. Holmes, in the other terms here, is talking
Tax and whole thing.
about that wasn't within the police jury's decision-making capacity.
Thank you.
Well, they here.
Ms. Simpson?
Yeah.
They're here.
Yeah, just one other question. I think initially, from what I understand, in the first 3 years, it was going to bring in or have the opportunity to have 140 some odd jobs, but then that would decrease after the work was completed. Am I correct?
Let me, if I can answer this first. My name is Mike Busada. I'm the Program Counsel for the Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority. And I just want to make our position clear. We have not approved anything. We don't approve anything unless the local taxing entities request that we do. That's why this resolution specifically says that you're voting whether or not to ask us to do it. You know, we're a facilitator. We're here because used to you had to go to Baton Rouge to do this, and now we've got an entity in North Louisiana that can facilitate this. So we are neutral. We want to know if you want us to do it, then we're happy to do it. If not, then that as well. So I just want to be very clear where we stand on that. In terms of pilots, they don't require jobs. It just requires you to meet an economic development assessment formula that basically shows that there's more benefits to the community than there are going to the company. And so if you have a large amount of capital investment on property where this is the best and highest use, then you wouldn't have to necessarily have the jobs, similar to what Governor Landry just approved with his executive order with ITEP that removes the jobs requirement from there as well.
And just to address some of the project-specific points, starting with Juror Simpson, to answer your question, you're absolutely right. There would be about 250 temporary construction jobs associated with this project that would exist for the roughly 2.5 years of construction. After that, there would be the production of between probably 5 and 10 permanent jobs that would be given to local constituents here. We can't outsource that to somebody from, say, Oklahoma or somewhere else, or Texas, for them to fly in and mow and clean panels. It makes way more sense. It is more economically viable. It's better for the project to have locals do that. Secondly, to get back to the impetus of the project, for the genesis of the project, when the Dole Hills Lignite facility was shut in December of 2021, there's a gap in the tax base for the police jury. We are doing what we can to fill that gap, right? Specifically on the CLECO side here. This is still going, the electricity is still being kept in Louisiana. It's within, the MISO grid to the extent possible. Specific to this tax agreement, we are looking to, like I said, replenish as much as possible with the tax basis that was lost with the shutting of that plant. With regards to the discretion of the spending, to your point, Mr. Juror Fuller, as far as my understanding is, and Mike can opine on this maybe a little bit more, which is the signing of the agreement leads to them being the Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority being the facilitator, and the discretion of the spending is on that of the police jury, right? So you all have the discretion here. So we are still providing, not a whole lot of jobs. However, I will make the point, and I've made this point in the past, if you guys would like an Amazon fulfillment center to come to move to DeSoto Parish, it would be a huge investment, but it would also mean a lot of new homes, a lot of new infrastructure, a lot of wear and tear on your roads. All of a sudden you have, call it 1,000 to 1,500 new students in your schools. It provides a whole other strain. What we are providing here is what some maybe consider colloquially as mailbox money. This is, not a terrible drain on your infrastructure, on your roads, on your water system, on your electricity. This is providing cheaper, more reliable electricity using domestic products. We are making every concerted effort to use United States manufactured products for this project. We're not trying to outsource it for the sake of cutting costs. And I think that just kind of generally speaking here, you know, we're trying to be long-term partners here within DeSoto Parish. We're trying to employ as many folks as we possibly can for this project while keeping it viable.
What's your name again?
Mike Busada.
Busada?
Yes.
And you're with Northwest Louisiana Finance Authority?
Yes.
Okay, we've been given an economic development financing term sheet.
Yes, sir.
I take it these are the terms that has been negotiated. They have not been negotiated?
No, these have been the terms that we were told by the company that has been negotiated with them and the local taxing bodies. So we basically put
Who
this
are the
in here.
local taxing bodies?
That would be my appreciation. That would be you, the school board, and the sheriff.
We weren't in on any.
That's why we haven't approved it
That's
until.
what I'm saying.
Right, and that's why we haven't
Not
approved
been
it.
in on any of these. Have you been on any of these negotiations? Mr. Ross as president?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'm just wondering, that's what I'm trying to find out. Where did this term sheet come from? Who negotiated it for us? And
Hold on.
why we don't get a chance to be a part of this?
The body did authorize Michael to negotiate.
Correct. I believe you asked Michael to reach out to them and present you with a proposal.
Yeah.
So is
and
any of
this is
these
the proposal, I
negotiating,
believe.
is any of this, can it be?
This has all been what's given to us by the administrator and the company.
Okay.
We just assume, and again, that's why we don't approve these until you approve it at your meeting. So that's why we're here to see what you want to do, but this is what was given to us by the administration.
And actually, the first number was lower than the number today.
And I will say that most of these that we've done are for 20 years at 80%. So this one at 10 years at 50% is
They came
significantly
to us
lower.
first time, we're 80%.
This proposal is for 50% at 10 years. After that, it goes back up to full ad valorem taxes. We're still contemplating paying you guys the sales tax that would be due at construction of the project when all the materials and everything is purchased and brought in. So we're still looking, you guys are still looking at over the life of the 35-year project, over $100 million worth of tax revenue here.
Anybody else?
I do.
Oh, Mr. Parker?
Question to our legal counsel. Can we negotiate this to where they pay the taxes the first 10 years and we'll give them an abatement for the next 10 years? Let's get our money up front. That's what they want. They want to get their break up front. Let's get our money up front and then give them a break if they stay here and do what they say they're doing.
Well, my old law partner, who was my mentor, always said, you don't know what you can get till you ask. So I don't know if they'd be willing to do it, but, and I have to look at the specifics of the law, but this is a substantially better deal than the first one that came beyond you all and you rejected, but it would be your policy choice to decide whether this would be something you wanted to move forward at this point, or if you wanted to go back and attempt different terms.
With respect to the community benefit agreement that we're proposing here, we have said this before, we've come back to y'all and said it again. The term sheet that's in front of you is just that, it's a term sheet. There are still terms that can be negotiated with respect to what those funds are allocated towards, right? We hear that there is a need for fiber optic cables and high-speed internet in DeSoto Parish. We want to allocate there. We've heard that there are drainage problems in the south portions of the parish where infrastructure could be needed. We want to help there too. Right, we're open to any and all ideas. We have seen proposals be put forward in the parish to help for, mosquito control and other sightings. So, we're trying to help and be a partner here. The reason that we have proposed this and the reason that we're asking for it is because it helps with the stability of the project and it improves the viability within the first 10 years. Much like we all know, when you buy a house and you have a mortgage, the first 10 years you're paying interest out the nose. I'm doing it right now, I can tell you from experience. And so as rates are continuing to go up and the volatility of financing continues to increase, this project continues to deteriorate in its viability. So what we're looking for is we're just looking for partners in the community to say, hey, let's make sure that this project happens so that you can have this windfall and this mailbox money come in from a large investment in DeSoto Parish.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any more discussion?
Invest in the people.
If
Please
not,
vote.
vote.
Motion passes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn, Administrator?
No, we still have some
Oh,
more.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. I was just thinking
All
about
right,
LSU.
Item number 6. Authorize the president to sign a resolution conveying support for an economic incentive package, including an annual payment in lieu of tax agreement and a performance-based grant for Project Seamless. This is the
So
new
moved.
Hendricks manufacturing plant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Who made the motion? I'm sorry.
Mr. Ross.
Mr. Ross.
And Mr. Fuller.
And Mr. Fuller.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
Are they here?
Are they here?
The representative here for us?
Want to speak, sir?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes, I would if I wanted anything. Now, you're bringing 135 permanent jobs?
So I'm Justin Dixon, President and CEO of North Louisiana Economic Partnership. We're the regional economic development organization in this area, and our mission is to recruit jobs and capital investment. Yes, this is a project we've been working on for a year. We've tried to reach out to each and every one of you. We have reached out. I think we've connected with most of you, if not all of you. We are working with a company. It's Advanced Manufacturing. They've been selling product in the U.S. for 30-plus years. This will be their first manufacturing foray. Lot going on with this company. Very excited about it. Yes, 135 jobs. A little bit deeper into that, $35 million will be the capital investment that they'll be going out there. To let you know what it means with the pilot, and by the way, I support the pilot just because it gives you control here on the local level, as you're figuring and talking about. With the 80% abatement, which will match up with ITEP, but we're not sending this to Baton Rouge, we're doing here. You'll be looking at getting a 2-year total of taxes to the parish, to all taxing entities, of around $2 million. Currently, you're getting a 10-year total of about $240,000. So you'll be getting the commitment of 135 jobs, which will be done in a cooperative endeavor agreement, and more tax money than you're getting now in the facility. So I'll take any questions that you have on it.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
There down towards the end of it, there's a mention of a $500,000 performance-based grant from DeSoto Parish Police Jury. What is that?
So that will be a grant to help with redevelopment of the property that's been shut down, to help with mitigation of environmental issues that have been uncovered out there, and to help with them getting up and running.
So you're expecting the police jury to front you $500,000?
So not me, but the company, and it would be for reimbursement of expenditures that they will have already done, and it will be through a cooperative endeavor agreement that says if they don't create the jobs that they're committing to create, that we'll have the ability to come back and get a portion of that money, if not all of it.
Wasn't this that company came in about the environmental project?
We had to come up with $500,000.
You remember?
I don't know.
Brownsville grant?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're still actively working on that,
we are.
but I don't know how the timelines are gonna line up with this project. But yeah, we are still pursuing that Brownsville grant to clean up certain properties such as this.
Yeah, I thought about that for.
How they'll work together, I don't know.
Any other questions, discussion?
I just got a comment, and the funds are there, Mr. Baker, they're there.
Sir?
I think the funds are available there.
Anybody else?
I kind of have one question.
Mr. Fuller?
Yeah, it's kind of like did they put the cart before the horse on this?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, before they get in the tax break, with them already coming in?
No, I think they're making as much commitment as they can. I think they have deliveries that they want to get into queue to make, but I think it's very important for them to get that and get the support they need. Understand the question.
Anybody else?
Yeah, and I just want to say economic development, investing in the people. I'm glad to see you all here.
Remember, I represent you all too, and the company, but
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, vote, please.
Thank you.
Motion passed.
Motion
Thank you.
passed. No more business. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye. Budget and finance.
Need to do something with it. I don't know where we got $500,000.
I guess so.
Budget and finance,
Budget
Mr. Baker.
Finance Committee.
I call the budget.
Whoa. Well, ask y'all if y'all would just leave pretty quietly, because we still have a meeting going on. Thank y'all.
They thought we adjourned altogether.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. First time. Budget and finance, Mr. Baker, please.
Call the Budget and Finance Committee to order. Call for any additions or deletions to the agenda. Any guest or public comments? One item, authorize the president sign a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Battle of Pleasant Hill Incorporated and amend the budget. They're asking for, they need 2,500, they'd like to have a minimum of 2,500. You'd really make them happy if you give them 4,000. So it's up to y'all.
So move on this. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Wait a minute now, y'all
I'm sorry.
y'all gotta get into committee here.
You're right, Mr. Baker, I'm sorry.
There you go.
I move.
Second.
Mr. Fuller.
Fuller.
Ms. Simpson, seconded.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, sir. This is what I wanted to clarify. The name of the Battle of Pleasant Hill, but it's not in Pleasant Hill. It is in DeSoto Parish. It's deep south DeSoto Parish.
Okay.
Where about these so bad?
Close.
Cause where it's gonna be at? Cause I'm from Pelican now.
Is that, the-
Are you from Pleasant Hill?
Nearly. That's how I wanna know.
It's
Is
probably
it
half a
Sabine
mile.
Parish or the Soda Parish?
It's in DeSoto Parish.
yeah, it's probably half a mile before you get to the Sabine line.
What are they having?
Old Town.
Yeah, Old Town.
I know where Old Town
Right.
is. I know where you.
What was the motion made on?
You put how far it is from the
I'm waiting for somebody to give me a dollar amount.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, the motion needs to include a dollar amount.
Yeah.
Said I'll be happy
3,500.
with 4,000?
Go in between.
They would like 4, they can live with 25.
What are they doing with it? What is the?
3,000.
The Battle of Pleasant Hill.
They are working on Save the Dog Trot project, where we are in the process of restoring the only remaining building from the Battle of Pleasant Hill.
I wasn't a history man. What type
And
of
they do
battle was
the
that?
reenactment of the Civil War.
I wasn't a history man. What type of battle was that?
Civil War.
Civil War?
The Civil.
Didn't know that, man. I motion we do 4,000, Mr. Baker. If Richard don't include in his motion, whoever made it.
Richard, are you going to include that in your motion?
Sir?
The
Do
price?
a dollar amount?
An amount in your motion.
Mr. Jones said 4,000.
I'm good with the 4,000.
That in the motion is 4,000?
4,000, so moved.
Do you still second that, Ms. Trina?
I second. Sorry.
Help me.
I understand.
Yeah.
Any further
I'm
discussion?
eating dinner right now.
No other discussion, please vote now. Motion passes. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, we're adjourned.
I was trying to eat dinner.
Any reps from here from now, from that organization?
No.
From where?
I asked him to be here for regular meeting.
Okay.
Road items.
Solid waste.
Roads next.
I got road next.
Roads.
Road. Better monkey.
Road committee will come to order. We'll call for additions and deletions. Hearing none, we have guests and public comments. So Mr. Daniel Savell, with speed bumps.
How's it going?
How you doing, Mr. Savell?
Speed bumps. Y'all have any around y'all's houses?
Yeah.
It's fun driving over them every day, ain't it? Especially when there's nine petitions of speed bumps. There's only 8 people that live on that road.
Which
What
road are
road
we
is
talking
this?
about?
It's on Evans Loop
Evans, Carmel.
in Carmel. There is literally no traffic there. I was outside for 8 hours today. I seen 3 vehicles. The school bus and the mailman with 2 of them. Why is there 3 sets of speed bumps on the backside of that road?
Your neighbors, Mr. Chair, your neighbor requested for them.
And how come none of us were told about it?
They had, kids or someone in the area that always speeds through.
One kid.
No, I don't know how many. I don't know, it's 1,
So
5.
there was one white truck that doesn't even drive through there anymore. Probably was working for an oil field somewhere. And now he's not been around for months. He hasn't been around since before the speed bumps were put up. I mean, why couldn't we put a sheriff right there and pulled him over when he was doing all this? And said, hey, don't come back.
Yeah, my, ask your neighbors, they're,
Well, I did. They
Yeah.
won't admit to nothing.
oh, well, that's
Because they run scared, because they don't want to say, hey, I was me that put them up there. That's, you're tearing up your vehicles and having a hard time pulling trailers and stuff across them. And, I mean, what system do we have to put them up to let people know that they're getting put up? There was no petition.
There
was
should
nothing.
We have a system, and we asked everybody to follow it. And normally we would take a poll,
Yeah.
have the individual who requested the speed bumps to go around there, everybody in that neighborhood or in that area, everybody.
Well, the guy that requested is my next door neighbor. I bought the house from his mother.
Well, he's supposed to came to you.
To
and
get
all
us-
the
I
other-
talked to him daily. He
Really?
never once mentioned it in the 6 months or 3 months or 4 months.
So we started doing this several years ago, because
So I'm having a problem
thing.
figuring out why.
same
They
thing,
actually
somebody will
got put
come
in.
and, somebody will come and request them. And then we put them up, and then everybody in the other area come back, want them up, didn't like them or whatever.
Yeah,
So we
there's-
decided that from now on, you go into everybody within that neighborhood, in that section, with a
Right.
petition saying that they'll agree with those.
Was that done?
I'm not sure. I didn't know y'all had any over there.
Everybody I've talked to is like,
Yes.
why is there even speed bumps on that road? Because there's no traffic on that road.
But I think most time they request because of kids in the area and a lot of traffic be
Well, that's fine,
going around.
but
But y'all didn't have it.
what process did y'all do to get those put in?
But it was supposed to have been a petition, yet your neighbor's supposed to did the petition.
I've asked for the petition and then there was none given to me.
Do we have it
I
on
mean, he
file?
probably don't wanna show his name or whatever. But the speed bumps you talking about in front of your house.
Yes.
Hadn't you put in a request to remove that one?
I'm just now figuring all this stuff out
Yeah.
because I wanted to see if there was a petition that requested to put them in.
Right.
And there is not one.
Okay.
Because I came up here last Monday and found out that there was not even a petition to put it in.
Okay.
So how did they get put in when there wasn't a petition to get them put in, other than one person?
Is Mr. Wheeler here?
Well, who?
Mr. Wheeler here?
No.
'Cause we can't just put them there.
Well,
Don't have to
we
jury.
did. We actually did. We just put them
Without
there because
any-
of the neighbor.
Without any signatures or anything?
Yeah, I guess we dropped the ball on it.
We
'cause
dropped the
I haven't
ball.
seen a petition.
Request that.
Do we know when they were put in?
But he asked to remove the one in front of his house, and it's a work order on to remove that
Mr.
one.
Fuller, go ahead.
You know, I just don't, cause I've done it both ways. I've let the person that called, they did the survey, and we also had the office to send out letters. I mean, and that should be our policy, have the office to send out letters. That way, you know, those who sign, I mean, if,
Like I
like
said,
I tell
I'm here
people,
to
I don't
learn.
wanna make that decision by myself.
Yeah.
If the majority say that's what they want,
Yeah.
that's what we'll go with.
That's fine.
Majority is on the street, yes.
I understand that, but let's do it the right way.
That's why I was saying, that's why we
Not
need to make sure that's our
just-
policy.
Right.
I agree.
Cause there's 3 sets. So there's no, I
How
cannot
long
leave
is
my,
the road? You my man.
how long is it?
Yeah.
How long have I lived there?
It's a,
The road, it's probably,
it's a loop, man.
it's a year.
Oh, it's a loop, okay.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
It's a loop.
Dow Road?
but, no, this is Evans.
Evans.
Loop.
Evans Road.
Turn beside the,
truck stop.
truck stop,
truck stop.
right there on 509.
Oh, okay, on that.
So it just comes out that truck stop, up to the lake and goes right back out to 509.
Okay,
That's it. There's 9 people that live on that road.
gotcha.
So what it is somebody will come through there every now and then when they're working oil field or something, they'll make a loop through there and go to the truck stop instead of going down 509.
Gotcha.
And there's no traffic on that road. The school bus drives faster than anybody else out there. I don't know how she makes that curve.
How long this speed
Well-
bump's been
That's
out
what
there?
I wanna know.
A month.
That
We would have.
Carmel Loop?
Yeah.
No, not
Evans
Carmel Loop, Evans Loop.
Evans Loop.
Carmel Loop, they've been there forever and that's another story. They're tearing up cars now.
Or Kilmer.
Is this the
Cause I have land there
F
too.
child?
No.
But it was the same time, I believe.
Right, same time.
We
Yeah,
should
just,
have.
I can't leave my house without driving over them. That's the only thing that aggravates me. Cause there's 2 to my left and there's 1 to my right. And I'm pretty sure the next guy behind me is probably fixing to complain about having such a bad road. And the road is actually in great shape. And then y'all gonna go put speed bumps in there and they're still gonna get my road, my truck tore up.
That's why they flying down, cause it's in good shape.
I mean, we got one good road in DeSoto Parish and y'all gonna put bumps in it. I mean, dang, y'all give me a break, you know?
Thank you, Daniel.
But thank you.
Appreciate you, bro. Mr. Ross, that's
You know,
Mr. Jones there.
It's mine. Yeah.
Any other, guest public comments?
We have the Hickenbottom.
I'm sorry.
Johnny Hickenbottom.
This is in my area.
I put him down to talk, but he got on to me and said, I like to talk way better than he does.
Right here. There it is.
Good evening.
How are y'all?
How you doing?
We were, I think Ms. Simpson and I have become very close
You
friends.
said your
Very.
name for the record?
Oh, Jamie Hickenbottom, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
We've become pretty close friends calling for the roads, but they've been drilling wells down our road. They have came in and narrowed our road. Here's me trying to get home today. I try to print out more pictures. There's no possible way 2 vehicles can get down our road. So I'm having to wait. My daughter-in-law tried to bring my grandbaby to me the other day, had to wait over 10 minutes to even get to my house. They're tearing up our roads. I call Miss Simpson, she gets right on it, they come fix it, but they put that rock down. It pours down rain the next day, guess where the rock is? If
In the
y'all want good
ditch.
rock for your road, come dig it out of our ditch, that's where it's at. We can't even get our camper and boat out. We've had to stay home and not be able to do that because we can't get it down the road.
Can we see the picture, man? Pass it down.
Yes, sir. I had more on my phone. My printer was going really slow, and by the time I got home from work, I couldn't print them all out.
Okay.
I've got another one where they've gotten stuck right at my driveway Saturday. Over an hour, our road was blocked. They ran over our culvert. Now our culvert's kind of dented in on the side. It's a new
That's the-
culvert. It hasn't
that's the
been there that
road.
long, and it's already dented in.
I don't know if y'all are aware, but when a saltwater truck's loaded and it's in the ditch, they have to bring another saltwater truck to pump the water off, then they bring the wrecker and the winch truck in to get it out.
I got some pictures. Like I said, I tried to, here's me late for work one morning, having to wait for them blocking the road. I have to drive to Stonewall to school every day, and I mean, the kids can't be there by themselves. Here was Saturday, like I said, I don't know if them got printed off because it was taking forever. But this is right here at our driveway. We couldn't even get out.
Well, they've done run over and smashed the culvert.
They smashed our
It's gonna
culvert.
stop up.
Yeah, And that's what's fixing to happen, but I don't understand, I've talked to Ms. Simpson, she said it's on our agenda to get our road widened, but year 2025, what the heck? You
Well, not
know?
only that, but a school bus
It can't
and
get
those
through.
big trucks cannot come, and we're not talking about the whole road, we're talking about between the Phil Davis and the Pink Davis, because the big trucks are not supposed to go past the Pink Davis coming toward Mansfield.
They're not
It's
permitted.
a low limited road.
And I'm sorry I had more pictures, but it was just, by the time I got home, I didn't have time to print them all.
What road is that again? I'm sorry.
Radio station.
Radio Station Road.
And I mean, and I can tell you this, the big trucks, a lot of times, they know when the permit
Yeah, I'll be
officers aren't there, they're
raising
going out down the other side of the road and tearing it up too.
And on the other side.
I mean, I drive a Ford F-250, cause that's all I can get up and down my road, and it was so bad not too long ago, it drug bottom. That's how deep the ruts were. And like I said, they're coming in, putting the rocks in, but when it rains, guess what's gone? The rocks.
And see, that's the problem we're having is that, I mean, she calls and I get right on it, but
She does.
it just, and that's why we're bringing it before the chairman, before the road committee, because is there anything else that can be done to
I mean, I shouldn't have to
Help.
wait to go to work or wait
A
to get
little bit.
home to let
Correct me
these
if I'm
trucks
wrong,
in.
but didn't that used to be a paved road?
It used to be, well,
Originally, it was a paved road.
Chesapeake paved it when they
Paved
first
it.
came in.
What year was that?
Oh, when
Whenever
Haynesville
Haynesville
Shell
Shell come in
started.
here.
yeah.
Okay, but anytime, we do have a policy ordinance that once they repair a road, they're supposed to make it equal or better
But they
than what it
came in and
was.
narrowed it when they done it. And two big trucks now, since they've got them wells on Mr. Gerald Birch's place, he
Yeah.
can't get through. I was pulling the boat, I'll tell you one day, I was pulling the boat home. Well, I can't back a trailer for nothing. I got out and told that guy in that truck, I said, you can back me up, or we can sit here all day, it don't make me no difference. So he had to get out of his truck, back me up past the well site, and walk back to right where Mr. Gerald's place is. I mean, I'm sure he didn't appreciate that, but I mean, it was either that or nothing at all. We're just gonna sit there all day.
But no, we do appreciate the rock that y'all brought down.
Yeah, I
there,
mean,
but of
they've
course,
been pretty consistent.
The
but-
rock is not gonna fix a blacktop road, it's just gonna be off in the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now the ditches are so bad, 'cause they've been stuck so much, of course, they're gonna stop up, not gonna drain. Then the water's gonna run across the blacktop, which is gonna make it deteriorate faster.
Mr. Rise, are y'all familiar with that road, that particular road?
I went and rode I made a pass to the road today, kinda examining what the extent of it was. I mean, the long-term fix, we need to acquire some right-of-way or have some right-of-way donated to us and so forth, so we can widen that road. I measured from the fence line to the center of the road, measured 20 feet. So that's, the long-term fix there. Short-term, there might be some options we can look into in that immediate area. There is a fairly, quarter mile of road or less, that's the extreme
Yes.
pinch point.
Yes.
And that has the narrowness to it.
But
And
when they get stuck in the ditches, I'm
Right.
stuck.
there's a lot of other outlying issues on that road,
It's plenty.
drop-offs and things like that.
It's plenty.
Was that on our list? We
that's
looked
what I
at
was
Yes,
about
it's
to
on the
Yeah,
list.
it is,
It's on our list.
I was told year 2025.
It
but-
says something about
We looked at one-
2025.
I mean, I'm driving a $60,000 truck. I don't want to tear it up. That's the first thing I've ever gotten that's been halfway decent, and I don't want to tear something like that up. And, like I said, my culvert's already messed up from them. What do we do?
I've been fussing about radio station road for years.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
tell y'all, years, it ain't just got like that. It's been a problem on radio
Money
station
invested
road.
in that west end of it.
Yep, cause, when Mr. Birch was living and he got sick, I used to work radio station, the whole radio station for him and me. But, I understand what you're saying, and a lot of, we got a lot of flood issues
Yeah.
on radio
Sure
stations.
Drainage is a
yeah.
big deal, that's what
Yep,
keeps
the
road
drainage
clear.
out there is, but that's one of the roads I put on the wish list, and that's
We
why
did for the
was
full
radio station road, cause those people out there been waiting a long time to get some relief. And we do need to do something.
Is it anything?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Philip, do you know, how many rigs is on that, in that area?
I can't tell you how
Couldn't tell
many,
me.
I would say at least, been at least 8.
It's quite a few.
Right. I mean, like right now, the present day,
I mean, working rig?
yeah.
just did 5.
Two.
And there's 5 new ones.
8 and tore it up.
Cause what I'm getting out, the rigs are moving out sometime or another, they're not gonna stay.
Well, there's no rigs in there now, they just moved one out. They moved,
Okay.
you know, of
But the
course,
saltwater trucks are
Comstock moved
in and out.
most of their rigs to
Okay.
South Texas or West Texas, whatever they got going on. But what they're saying, they're gonna be back in 2025 in DeSoto Parish.
I talked to the guy with Comstock the other day, and he said they're gonna be
They
back.
turned all
But,
these
I mean,
roads
it's just
around.
the saltwater trucks are in and out now.
Right.
And 2 saltwater trucks cannot
Yeah,
pass.
exactly.
There's no
They can't.
possible way. And I mean, I have to pull in my mirrors and get pretty far over, and I'm not getting in the ditch that big truck can get in, I'm not.
Well, I mean, it's just a, look, it's just a known fact. I've been driving a truck for 35 years. That weight's gonna tear your road up. That road wasn't, the amount of blacktop that was laid down, when they put it down, they wasn't planning on all this truck traffic coming through there, you know, so
Right.
when the water don't drain down the ditches and through the culverts, it drains down the road. Of course, when you get up under concrete or blacktop and it's wet, when them trucks come over, it just smashes it away till it busts it all up, you know? So drainage is a big deal on that road. If you don't wanna have to be down there every 2 weeks working on it, you know what I mean?
Every week, that's what it's been here lately.
Mr. Chair, my suggestion right now is if we can reach out through the permit officer with those all saltwater companies. They have to respect all citizens. They got to get in and out.
They don't.
They got to do that.
They won't even slow down for me.
Not the saltwater company.
I mean, I just sit there and dare them to hit me, cause I mean, they don't even slow down. They don't even try to slow down, get over nothing. They're not stopping for you. It's
Have them
either me
camp out
stop
there
and
for
get
a
over.
while.
Right.
So
And I
get
think
out.
it'll be easy to handle because it's a handful of companies now, you know.
Yeah.
Tri-State, Massive, Axe.
But
There's
I
not a
know-
lot of owner ops anymore.
I know we've had numerous getting stuck in the ditches and blocking the roads. It's just, like I said, there was one right there at our driveway Saturday for
Yes.
a good while.
I have a question. Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, so in the meantime, is it anything else other than the rocks that can, Mr. Ryson, that can be done to fix some of these, the way this road, the condition that it's in for right
I
now?
think the most urgent matter is getting some width added to that narrow section.
Okay.
Currently, what I saw today is a lot better than these pictures as far as the condition of the ruts and so forth.
Yeah, they came
I think
back.
the road
They
department
probably
has
done
made
came
some
back, cause
progress in
he
that.
gets, when I call him, he gets on it.
He gets on it.
That width would be the most urgent matter currently.
Okay.
No, Michael?
But the road today hasn't
That-
rained yet. When it comes
Yes,
to good
yes,
rain,
ma'am.
it's, that's gonna be gone.
Most of the ditches are filled in trying to widen the roadway, so there are no ditches on the majority of this road.
Why don't y'all work, Michael, with some of the property owners in that area where it's the narrowest part and see if we can get some right-of-way donated to us and allow us to make it wider and see, and then if, let the oil companies know it's got to be wider if they're gonna continue to go down it. And just basically put our foot down and make them help us to widen
Help
it.
us pay it.
I mean, they build roads through the woods to locations all the time. They ought to be able to clear that little area right there for us, that we could, widen that road.
I think that'd be a good plan.
Comstock's sick of me too because I got their number on speed dial.
I mean, it would benefit them also. I mean, it's, an accident's gonna happen there. See if they'll help us and furnish equipment, do some work there and clear that, right of way where we can widen that road out.
Mr. Phillip, you have a point to make.
I was just gonna let the president know that it's been over a month ago, but I talked with the representative of Comstock and told him they must yield public on that road since it's so narrow. And he gave me their word.
Yeah.
For all it's worth.
Well, now Comstock, you know, they're pumpers and
Right,
stuff.
and
Now,
they
you're
have
talking about different
subcontractors.
saltwater trucking companies.
Well, it would be the owner of the wells, whoever that would be, so it'd be Comstock or, you know, one of the big oil gas
Oh, yeah,
companies.
to help
So,
fix the road, yes.
all right.
But
Right.
once you pass like where Mr. Gerald's, there's no place to go. You either gonna have to back up probably a half a mile, or they're gonna have to back up, cause there's no pulling over, there's no anything. So, I mean, as far as the road not being wide enough, it's just that little section probably, you know. But,
Okay, all right. Mr. Rise and Mr. Phillip are gonna take a look at it.
Yes, sir.
And they're gonna start trying to, see, first of all, see if we can get some more property from some of the landowners to give, to improve our right of way.
Well, we sure appreciate any
Yeah.
help we can get.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Johnny.
Okay, any other guests or public comments at this time? Hearing none, we'll go with our items. Authorize the president to sign a corporate endeavor agreement with the town of Logansport to clear debris at the rodeo arena.
Gotta make a motion.
Can I get a motion?
Need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Riser.
Rains.
Rain.
Rain. What is it? Rain's on my mind.
Do we have a second?
Do I have a second?
Mr. Fuller, Parker,
Hogansport area?
Mr. Holmes,
They haven't gotten a second.
I know most.
discussion. Still having the town local for, they let them all up there.
You gonna second for the discussion?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, motion by Mr. Rain, second by Mr. Fuller, for discussion. Go ahead.
yeah, and what it is, they're not hauling anything off. They just taking the dozer and pushing it in the hole, the debris, trees and everything.
Okay.
We just did that though. When they did that, what, two times?
I asked about that earlier, Ms. Morrell. We were supposed to have already done it, but supposedly we never have gotten around to doing it.
Do you know?
Yes, we did.
Well, that's not what I was told. I don't,
I believe we done it earlier.
Yeah, we did, 'cause I went over there.
Earlier
okay.
in year 20.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Okay, we have any other discussion?
So was it done?
Hearing
How
none?
much time would that be for us to be over there? How much?
A day?
2 max, probably.
A week?
How much?
You saying a day and you saying a week?
Don't push all that debris in one day.
I know we did.
I seen
it
some
one
pictures
time,
of the
'cause I
debris.
went over there and looked at it.
Do we have any
When they have any
pictures
pictures,
in
can we
here?
defer that till we see what they gotta do?
I got pictures.
You got the picture, I need some.
We gotta push, apparently a lot of debris into a hole or something.
So we've cleaned it
Yep, we've cleaned it before.
So are individuals coming in and out and still dumping? What's going on?
The local people in the Logansport area use that area to get rid of woody debris. Just something.
Storms.
does.
Okay.
And it's, sits on the bank of a huge gully. And we probably went over there, probably be the 4th or 5th time
Yeah, I
Yes,
know.
sir.
in years. Every once,
They have a
once a year,
compact
every once every 2
It's-
years.
They
push it all.
gave.
Mr. Chair, also the parish have took things over there when we got a down tree, fall across the road too, I think. We don't take anything there?
Still ain't did no more. Still ain't did no damn.
Isn't this property part of the recreational deal that they were
that's
gonna
what I was
build up
gonna
over there and everything?
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't this supposed to be the
Who
park?
did?
I think this is
What you trying-
where the old rodeo arena used to be and all that sort of stuff. So it's dedicated as a recreational center, but they're hauling trash over there and wanting us to go back and solve their problem when they get too much trash there.
Apparently.
I don't think that's what the police jury is supposed to do.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
What you think? Were you gonna vote yes?
Mr. Clark, you didn't want to say anything on that?
I'm just saying, I know the mayor reached out to me, and he said that the parish has done this before for them. And then the parish, along with the residents of Logansport, have used this to dump storm, debris and stuff, so it's been done before.
Yeah.
So it was just brought to me to have it done
Don't mean
again.
it's right.
And,
Just because it was done before doesn't mean it's right.
and it's not any paper, it's tree limbs and whatnot.
I know.
We know one
but
vote. We know somebody.
Did y'all see the pictures?
I'm sorry?
He has pictures of it, you wanna see it?
I think I saw him I saw him already on my package.
I mean, that's that same property.
We waiting on
There's
one vote.
some of the people in Logansport was complaining about they didn't need out. That's the property we gave them. And,
Okay, that motion
they can't
failed.
upkeep it.
Motion failed. Item 4, approve the 5-year parish transportation road projects.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Parker,
Second.
second by Mr. Fuller. Any discussion?
Yeah, what's on it? I forget. What roads on the project?
I don't know, that's a lot of roads, the whole list.
Whole lot of roads.
Yeah, the list of the plans that we made up, we go for what,
Yeah,
how
we
many
got
years?
this probably about a month ago or 2 months ago, the list of roads.
Just the roads we done. And plus, we went over something, last week.
Yeah, this is
New
pertaining
plan.
to your parish transportation funds.
Right.
That you receive each year. You know, this is how it's been broke down, the Railroad Avenue, Powell, Martinez, and Marshall Road still to come, the stuff y'all voted on to date. This was put on the agenda basically for y'all to for the road committee to get a chance to, I guess, speak to the roads y'all like to see prioritized. You know, I would prefer that, you know, we work together, you know, get 3 or 4 roads and then go analyze them and see what's the best benefit for the parish. Might be a good way if each juror kind of reach out to myself or I can get with you and, with the road committee individually, however y'all see fit. And we see about how to prioritize, which roads we'd like to see here. One thing to point out, we don't have to pick, you know, say you normally receive about $400,000 each year for the transportation fund. You don't have to pick a $350,000 project or a $400,000 project to do. If you have an existing capital project that's in your region that you'd like to help move up the list, or, you know, that we could fund with our, capital project might be confusing, but with DeSoto Parish PPJ funds, you know, with our in-house funds, if we have a project we want to fund next year, we can assist that project with this $400,000. It don't have to be a project that's within these constraints and so forth. This can be an additional fund of money that goes with some, you know, let's just on Martinez. Martinez is a $600,000 budgeted project right now. $400,000 of that's the parish transportation funds. So that's just something to keep in mind as we're looking. We don't, Marshall Road, you know, that's a road that we have to look at what additional funding we want to put with that parish transportation funds, because that's a, you know, almost 10-mile road throughout 2 jurors' districts and so forth. So see how much of that we want to tackle and so forth like that.
Okay.
But that's just my 2 cents on it, and like I said, this is just an opportunity to get before the road committee so we can discuss what roads we'd like to see on it.
Okay.
Oh, let me ask you this now, 'cause see, now I'm getting confused. Is this the list? Now, it used to be a list, Joe, to help me out,
I will try.
that everybody, they was going down the list and
Right, well, you see this allocation to the right, you know, the different districts. This is how it was outlined to be done. You know, who's, you know, currently it's at Martinez Delton with Miss Jerry. And then we're 1 year behind on this list. So you see Martinez Delton was supposed to be 2023, but we're a year behind.
I'm just trying to see, 'cause see, when we was bringing this up, they were saying, well, Miss Brad, you next in line. First, they were saying I was next in line, then Kyle ended up over before me. Then I post, so are you saying they gonna kill that list, or who was next
No,
in
ma'am,
line?
no, ma'am, we're just
or-
trying to fill it out. Currently, the only
Okay.
thing we have on the list is Marshall Road. So we're just trying to see what roads we want to do after that's completed. You know, we'll complete your Martinez Delton Road this year, hopefully. Marshall Road will be up for the year following, and we're just looking for insight to what future projects we want to pursue after that. And for the year, you know, year 2025, 26, and so forth.
Keep in
Okay,
mind it
'cause-
involves different
Yeah.
districts.
We made a list, has, Stagecoach Road, and now what happened to that list?
That's a different list.
That's a
Different list.
different, that's the wish list?
Yeah, this is parish transportation.
Okay.
I think that was the capital outlay. We have several different funding sources going. This is just the funding source pertaining to parish transportation fund. Like I said, I would say no decision has to be made today, for sure. If you'd like, we can meet throughout the next 2 weeks and discuss some options with the road committee or the individual jurors of each, however you'd see fit, But just looking for some direction on how to seek out those roads is what we're looking for at this time.
Let me ask you something. Go ahead, Mr. Simpson.
On the 2023, you got Martinez, Delton, and radio station. So that's 3 different roads, or that's one? Which?
That's the one I had asked when they said it was my turn. I put all them in there. I said if it was enough money, I wanted work done on all those roads. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, the parish transportation funds, you know, they won't, as far as rebuilding a road, they're not gonna cover that full bill. So, as I said, we'd have to group those with some parish funds as well, some in-house funds. But, you know, that's to say, currently on Martinez Delton, we're applying an additional $200,000 on top of the parish transportation funds to fund that project.
Which Delton is me and you, so we good.
Okay, guys, y'all, just for Mrs. Norris' sake, she's talked about her roads a lot. Where are we all with her? I think I'm sorry?
George Small Road.
Right.
I'd be
George Small.
speaking for Mr. Woodley and Mr. Phillip. They've been actively working on the drainage situation out there. And I believe they've hauled oil mix today, is that correct? Have not hauled, they have intention to haul oil mix.
Okay, but we
but
gotta
they've
work
been-
on the
they've-
draining problem first.
Getting all the
right?
culverts completed first, you know,
Okay.
getting the drainage, the ditches cleaned out as well.
We've completed all the drainage structures on the Coop and Redwood, and they've done probably 60% of the ditching. So once
Okay.
that's complete, we'll be ready to start doing the oil mix and asphalt.
All right. Guys, I don't know if y'all are aware, but Iowa is playing LSU tonight. Game started at 7. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, man.
It started at 6.
Started at 6? Oh, no.
You done missed it, baby.
No, man.
All right,
Okay,
this is your deal, so.
well, we,
Vote on this.
I got about 10
Oh.
more questions.
okay, item 4. Approve the 5-year parish transportation road projects.
I've already got a motion and a second.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we got a motion. Yeah.
Mr. Holmes?
One vote. Motion passes. Okay,
5.
item 5, approve the parish road transportation funds.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Fuller,
Second.
second by Mr. Holmes. Any discussion?
Parker second that.
Right, Mr. Parker, second.
What is this?
I'm on Mr. Holmes second so much, I want to give him that one.
What is this?
My
Parish
understanding,
Road
Transportation funds.
We didn't get anything on it.
What is it?
Didn't get any information on it, that's what I'm saying.
I believe my understanding is that you're just voting to use the parish transportation funds for whatever roads you're choosing to put on that list on item number 4.
Okay,
Any other discussion?
strange thing.
Everybody please vote.
You approve the list.
I don't know what I'm voting for.
I don't think it went through.
Yeah, vote for the list. In a minute. That motion passes.
It is tied up.
No, he paid.
She's
Oh,
talking
score
about
time?
basketball.
Oh, no,
Oh,
Go. It passed.
item 6, approve of asphalt overlay at Stonewall Frison Road and amend the budget in the amount of $372,000.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Riser. Sorry, Mr. Raines. Mr. Raines.
Second.
Second by Mr. Parker.
What is it?
That's on the,
That's on the main
It says,
road.
approve the asphalt overlay at Stonewall Frierson Road. We're at Stonewall Frierson Road?
Mr. Usher, I think.
This is from I-49 to the Wallace Lake, Bloxham Road corner.
Bloxham Road, there in the
Right,
curve.
right there at the Frierson Apartments, do that corner just prior to the Frierson Apartments.
I didn't know if you had the whole thing or how you had it.
Yeah, it's just that stretch.
Yeah.
That's what, you know,
We want to support that side.
that area is one area we were trying to avoid. The state will be taking that over in a few years, or several years, most likely, you know. You know how fast things move.
Right.
We're looking at, we're hoping 3 to 5 years that we'll be out of that project. This is something that's gonna give our constituents something,
Okay. They'll take it
get
over
the
by-
potholes and so forth patched. It's starting to deteriorate fairly quickly in that area. Every time we get a rain, we have a few bent wheels and so forth like that due to
Yeah.
potholes and so forth. It's a 45-mile-an-hour roadway. It's one of our higher speed roadways that we have. That's what, looking at putting some money into it, to get us through that window. Hopefully the state will take it over after that and we'll be done with it.
Okay.
They'll take it over when 3015's tore up.
Yeah.
Well, our agreement should be if it's in disrepair, they'll repair that one before we take it.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Motion passes. Last item, authorize the president to sign a corporate endeavor agreement with the town of Stonewall to replace culverts on Baker Road, Mary Street, and Brian David Road. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Holmes,
Second.
second by Mr. Rice. Mr. Raines, Mr. Raines.
No.
Put that right, put your,
I'm about to write it on my head, smile at it.
put it right there, yeah.
Say, Nick, we'll change places with him. He gets paid more.
Ain't no doubt.
Any discussion?
How many culverts in all are they talking about? I know there are 3 roads, but how many culverts on those roads they changed?
Mr. Phillips, you can answer that?
These 6.
I mean, what's wrong with them?
How many locations?
Oh, there's 3 locations.
There's 3 locations. Some of them have dual barrels at the location, but it's just 3 locations.
I think what's wrong with them?
Deteriorated, you know, rusted out.
Oh, metal covers.
Gotcha.
Okay, any other discussion? Please vote. Okay, motion passes. Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Fuller, second by Mr. Parker. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Call the Solid Waste Committee to order. Call for any additions and deletions to the agenda. Hearing none, guest and public comments. Is John Sutherland in here? He's pretty big, he's hard to miss, so.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. I don't think he ever showed up.
They go to item D, solid waste items. Authorize the president to sign a cooperative endeavor agreement with Shreveport Green for the 2024 litter campaign. So move. Second. Have a motion by Mr. Fuller, second by Mr. Parker. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote now. Motion passes. Motion to adjourn.
So, second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Mr. Fuller.
Mr. Fuller, community service.
I ain't ready to go yet, but no, go ahead. In addition, I've called order call for additional deletion to the agenda. Any guests and public comments? All right, community service item D. Item 1, authorize the jury to accept a vehicle donation from DeSoto Parish OCS to Office of Community Service.
So moved.
There's a motion by Ms. Simpson. Second. Who's second? Second by Mr. Parker. Any discussions? Can you tell us, you mind telling us a little bit about that?
It's free.
Quickly.
I'm not watching football tonight.
Richard don't watch football or
Our
basketball.
Community Action has a vehicle that they would like to donate. We have a van that has over 200-some-thousand miles on it. Not exactly sure how many. That's, the guys can't go over 55 when they're driving it.
And so when Priscilla came down from LHC, she contacted them about the van they had up there. They don't use it. They no longer have their weatherization program. When they did have it, they contracted out, so the van has just been sitting there. So they offered to donate it to our weatherization program. But we have to get you guys approval to get that done.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I
It's
said that wasn't
free.
long, y'all. Y'all
It's
can go watch your football
That's
game
what I
now.
was trying to tell them, it's free.
Any other discussions? Please cast your vote. Motion passed. Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
I said, we adjourn. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Personnel committee call to order. Is there any addition and deletions to the agenda? Any guests and public comments? Be non-personnel items, approving ditching crew for road department and amend the budget.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Ready for question, any discussion?
I'll give the motion.
Hmm?
I say I'll make that motion, I guess.
We already made
I
it.
think you already got a
Already
motion in
made.
a second.
Oh, I don't think is Mr. Fuller on there?
I made
Mr.
that.
Parker, okay. Mr. Clark, all right.
Ms. Simpson.
Yes, is this, a total of 3 positions?
A total of 4.
4 positions?
One heavy, 2 equipment.
Okay, times 2. Okay, I thought that was his title.
That's 2.
1,
It's
2,
total
3.
4 positions. What's the total price?
Well, it's really
If they
hard.
take everything.
I mean, it really depends on where we bring them in. You have the range, you know, for your heavy equipment operator, anywhere from, if they chose insurance, you're looking at 61,000 all the way to 87. For equipment operators, about roughly 29,000 to 44,000. Depending if they get insurance, you know, it's 40,000 to 55,000. Then your class driver, if they get insurance, 55,000 to 77,000. So it's really depending if we bring them into the entry-level position, which will be your lowest, and then whether they choose insurance or not. I would say roughly, if I had to guess, just, you know, people coming in, you're looking probably anywhere between 150 to 180,000 for all 4 positions.
Bet you it's 270.
Mr. Parker.
Do y'all have, either Michael or Philip, either one, have a idea how long this would take to clean the ditches in our parish?
Lifetime.
This is a permanent allocation. Ongoing.
Yeah.
So this would be,
Keep our ditches clean, keep our roads good.
You need to start over at the beginning before you ever finish.
I know our ditches are in terrible shape right now, but somewhere down the road, if they're working, they would get all these ditches cleaned, and then you don't need a ditching crew on a permanent, everyday basis. I'm just saying, if it took 3 years to get all the ditches cleaned, after that point, we don't need 4
to
people
maintain them.
there.
Being in a rural area, every
It's to
year,
maintain it.
fall, all you do
Leaves fall, leaves fall all through the year, Mr. Parker.
I'm just saying though, once the ditches are clean, in the fall when there's leaves in there, you're not having to dig a bunch of dirt out and haul it off. You're just going down there cleaning out the debris that's in there, so it's a lot quicker job. I don't know that we need 4 people hired on permanently to do this. We would be better off to look at either contracting it out or to hire some type of temporary help.
Oh, that's Mr. Will.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you said there, Mr. Parker, but like he say, in the fall, leaves are gonna fall. For 4 people to clean the entire parish, that's gonna be a big chore.
I understand it. We might, if we did temporary people, it could be, we could hire more to get it done right quick, and then drop back to just say 2. That we would have to, additional employees to maintain the, once we get them cleaned out. They ain't been cleaned in 50 years.
That's why.
That's one thing.
You have employees, I mean, we, actually, companies that hire people. And we can't even hire people to clean out our own dishes. I mean, 4 people, we're not asking for, we trying to create 4 jobs, not 150, 4. Dishes need to be cleaned out all of it. That's what I get most of my calls for, them dishes. Come get these limbs out these dishes. And when it rains, you know, it creates trenches and everything else. So it's a constant job, Mr. Parker. It's constant.
I'm just throwing an idea out there.
I got you.
On a lot of my roads now, I'm just gonna,
I got about 2
I'm
more
just gonna
questions on
say-
that ditch.
them ditches need digging every year, 'cause take us for cut-off, they just dug, I'm so happy, because every year, I have to call Mr. Wood and them, say, look, y'all need to come dig the ditches on
they
such
call
and
me
such,
all the
such.
time.
Mine's road, that's another. It's just certain roads, you gonna have to keep them ditches dug out, 'cause like I say, some of them got flood problems, it's gonna wash not just leaves and stuff, it's gonna wash soil, the whole nine, they get back shallow, now you got a flood problem.
Okay, y'all, we need the ditches. We need to hire. We need them. Call for the question.
What are these 4 employees gonna be doing, Philip?
Any more discussion?
We still on discussion.
What will these 4 employees be doing? 1 on a machine, 3 in a truck, 3 driving trucks back and forth, or what?
I did not get intimately involved. Mr. Norton and probably Mr. Woodley handled most of what staffing was needing to be used there. But yeah, that'd be, you have in that equipment, in that list you have there, you have a truck driver, your truck drivers, your heavy equipment operators, you have a track hoe out there, and as well as your truck that'd be hauling material off, and then your, you know, I wouldn't call them laborers, we're not hauling laborers, but your flagmen and so forth like that, that'd be out there.
Well,
But,
they're not on here.
But yeah, this is also changing the way we clean out ditches. You know, currently, or in the historical past, we run a motor grader down the side of the road and windrow that dirt to the backside. That windrow, we'd be out there removing that windrow and digging a proper ditch and so forth. So that's what we're trying to move towards. You know, there's tree clearing also, you know, that'd be in consideration. That's a big hindrance that we have. And this is an opportunity to move in a different direction where we can do proper ditch cleaning and proper ditch, you know, ditch creation in some scenarios, creating the ditch.
Areas
And
that
I'm
don't
gonna
have
add
them
one
at
thing
all.
too, and getting that row off of there, you can pull that road next to the road, and that helps widen the road.
Right. Yeah, where that big windrow is where the ditch should be.
Right,
you know.
should be.
Is it,
His crew how to put a ditch on grade?
We're gonna sure try. We sure don't wanna dig a pond and it not go anywhere.
Right.
Philip, is it cheaper to hire a man and furnish a dump truck to haul this back and forth, or is it cheaper for the trucks to be furnished by contractors?
We're gonna furnish the dump truck for the hauling, the truck is for the haul truck.
I say, would it be cheaper and more
Yeah.
efficient to use contract drivers for the trucks back and forth?
Probably not.
No, them contract drivers make $75 an hour.
That would be
Hourly?
Probably like $75 an hour.
Yeah,
How many trucks?
$75 an hour.
How many trucks will we have running?
these two.
So they fill 2 trucks up and they'll be sitting on the spot waiting on where do they take it to dump?
Try to take it to the closest place available in the parish. There's constituents all around that ask for ditch work.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of this
Right.
would be proper for ditch work, but we carry it to the closest location to get rid of it. So with 2 trucks, one gets loaded, he's gone. Other ones getting loaded as they move it up. From a close area, and that other truck will be back shortly. It's the plan.
And also normally when they see you hauling, they want that dirt.
Yes,
They want it.
yeah. I mean, we're giving it back to the community, we're digging it, and recycling it.
We'll match for it all the time.
How
I mean, at $150,000 a year, you know, we don't want the machine sitting there waiting on trucks half the time.
All right, no, No other further discussion? Can you please vote?
Hey, stand by, Mr. Latham.
Motion passed. Powerful adjourn.
Insurance, please.
All right, insurance committee call to order. Down. Call for any additions and deletions. Guest public comments?
Nope.
Insurance item number 1, discuss and take action on self-insured plan.
So moved.
Second.
I second. I just give you all an update. I talked to the insurance agent today. Blue Cross needed claims through March. United Health couldn't give them to them yet, so they don't have a quote for us. I will be getting a quote, and it's gonna be good for probably 30 days, so that is something that I will contact everybody and answer any questions, so everybody will be informed. We will have to move quickly, and I have found that the library, the child support office, tourism department, and the water department is on this plan. So I will be recommending that we send an invoice to those 4 organizations for the admin work that we do. If you have any questions for that, feel free to ask me about it. But there's really nothing to move forward other than just keep it the same. So I don't even know if we need to vote on anything. I wouldn't think so.
Just waiting on an update. We're just gonna wait on the quote?
Yeah, just wait on the
Second that
quote.
motion.
Oh, Robbie?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, just for discussion. But
Thank you.
there's nothing to vote on yet. Anything else? Motion adjourned?
Motion
So
adjourn.
moved.
So moved. Second.
This is too personal to be.
You've got to be a good judge of this, haven't you?
How's it going? Good, how's everything out there?
Just take it to Lowe's.
Oh, yeah.
Just take a lunch for it.
Okay.
Oh,